In the misty dawn of a routine prisoner transport from a county jail, the extraordinary instincts of courage, a 70-pound German Shepherd, K9, transformed a seemingly standard operation into a life-saving intervention, echoing the heroism of K9 units like Roxane in Portland and Riot at the International Defense Summit. The narrative centers on Courage's ability to detect a hidden threat during a 60-mile convoy to a state penitentiary, carrying 8 high-risk inmates. Trained to sense danger beyond human or technological perception, Courage's frantic barking and refusal to let the transport van move alerted his handler, Officer Matthews, to an imminent escape attempt orchestrated by a notorious prisoner. This remarkable feat underscores the unparalleled value of K9 units, whose instincts can uncover dangers that evade even the most stringent security measures, making Courage a pivotal guardian in a moment of crisis. As the convoy rolled out, Matthews, a rookie handler with only 3 months' experience, felt the weight of his late father's K9 legacy. Courage, with his amber eyes and disciplined demeanor, sat alert in the trailing SUV, tasked with providing security for the armored van. 17 minutes into the rural drive, on a desolate 20-mile stretch of highway, Courage's behavior shifted dramatically. His ears shot forward, and his barks turned sharp and urgent, fixating on the van ahead. Despite Matthews' commands and Lieutenant Davidson's radio demands to silence the unprofessional noise, Courage lunged toward the van, defying protocol. This was no ordinary alert. It was a desperate signal of danger, unseen by the convoy's guards or surveillance systems. Matthews, guided by his father's wisdom, a dog doesn't need to understand the danger to know it's there, recognized the specificity of Courage's reaction. Unlike anything seen in their brief partnership, his decision to halt the convoy, risking his career, stemmed from this trust in Courage's instincts, which proved prophetic when the van's doors opened. The count revealed Ray Donner, a former Army Ranger and escape artist, with loosened cuffs, poised to execute a violent breakout. Courage's pinpoint focus on Donner, marked by a low growl, exposed the threat before it could unfold, preventing a potential massacre. This moment, akin to Roxane's detection of Sophie's plea or Riot's unmasking of an assassin, highlights the K9's ability to sense what human oversight and technology miss: a prisoner's covert intent. Courage's instincts, honed through rigorous training, saved lives by disrupting Donner's meticulously planned escape, complete with accomplices waiting at the county line. The story, resonating with American values of bravery and vigilance, celebrates the power of animal intuition in law enforcement. In a high-stakes operation where protocol demanded compliance, Courage's raw perception cut through the fog of routine, proving that a 70-pound K9 can be the difference between safety and catastrophe, safeguarding justice on an open highway. Building seamlessly on the extraordinary instincts of Courage, a 70-pound German Shepherd K9, the narrative of the prisoner transport from a county jail to a state penitentiary 60 miles away underscores the critical trust between Courage and his handler, Officer Matthews, echoing the valor of K9 units like Roxane in Portland and Riot at the International Defense Summit. On a misty morning, with the convoy carrying 8 high-risk inmates, Courage's frantic barking and refusal to let the transport van proceed revealed a hidden escape plot. But it was Matthews' unwavering faith in his K9's urgent alerts that transformed a routine operation into a life-saving intervention. Despite intense pressure from his superior, Lieutenant Davidson, and the risk of career ruin, Matthews' trust, rooted in his late father's wisdom, proved pivotal, demonstrating the indispensable bond between handler and K9 in protecting lives under extreme stakes. As the convoy navigated a desolate 20-mile stretch of highway, Courage's demeanor shifted 17 minutes into the drive, his barks sharp and relentless, fixating on the van. Matthews, a rookie with only 3 months' experience, faced scorn from Davidson, who dismissed Courage's alerts as unprofessional and threatened Matthews with arrest. The radio buzzed with mockery from colleagues, suggesting Courage needed a bathroom break or was chasing a squirrel, amplifying the pressure to conform. Yet Matthews, haunted by his father's dying words, When your partner tells you something's wrong, you listen. Even when everyone thinks you're crazy, recognize the urgency encourages behavior. Unlike any training exercise or prior operation, including a live pursuit the previous month. This trust, mirroring Edward's faith in Roxane and Matt Collins in Riot, drove Matthews to make a career-defining decision. Defying protocol, he slammed on the brakes, halting the convoy on the open highway, a move that drew Davidson's fury and accusations of insubordination. Matthews stood his ground, insisting on inspecting the van, citing Courage's specific alert to prisoner 6. The inspection revealed Ray Donner, a former Army Ranger, with loosened cuffs, poised to seize Lieutenant Davidson as a hostage. Courage's pinpoint focus, validated by Matthews' resolve, exposed the plot, preventing a violent breakout with accomplices waiting at the county line. Matthews' faith and courage, forged through their brief but intense partnership, enabled a tactical response that neutralized Donner, saving lives. The incident, resonating with American values of courage and loyalty, celebrates a handler's willingness to risk everything for his canine's instincts. In a high-pressure environment where protocol demanded compliance, Matthews' trust and courage, like that of his predecessors, cut through skepticism and bureaucracy, proving that the bond between handler and canine can be the linchpin in averting disaster. This story, flowing from Courage's instincts, affirms that in moments of crisis, a handler's faith in their 70-pound partner can safeguard justice, ensuring a deadly threat is stopped before it unfolds on a lonely highway. The riveting narrative of Courage, a 70-pound German Shepherd K9, and his handler, Officer Matthews, during a 60-mile prisoner transport from a county jail to a state penitentiary, seamlessly builds on Courage's exceptional instincts in the critical trust between him and Matthews, echoing the heroism of K9 units like Roxane in Portland and Riot at the International Defense Summit. At its core, this story unveils the chilling discovery of a meticulously planned escape plot led by Ray Donner, a former Army Ranger and 3-time escape artist, whose loosened restraints and hidden tools posed a lethal threat. On a misty morning, Courage's relentless barking and refusal to let the transport van move, coupled with Matthews' steadfast faith in his K9's alerts, exposed Donner's scheme, transforming a routine operation into a high-stakes standoff. This revelation, triggering panic among the convoy team, underscores the power of a K9's vigilance in uncovering dangers that human oversight and rigid protocols nearly missed, safeguarding lives in a moment of crisis. As the convoy traversed a desolate 20-mile stretch of highway, Courage's sudden shift, ears forward, bark sharp, and focus locked on the van, disrupted the operation 17 minutes in. Matthews, a rookie handler, faced Lieutenant Davidson's scorn, who dismissed Courage's alerts as a rookie's failure, and colleagues' mockery over the radio, suggesting trivial causes like a squirrel. Guided by his late father's wisdom, a dog doesn't need to understand the danger to know it's there. Matthews halted the convoy, risking his career, much like Edward's trust in Roxane's signals. The decision, defying strict protocol, led to an inspection that revealed Donner, prisoner 6, with loosened cuffs, a modified lockpick in his boot, and a plan to seize Davidson as a hostage, with accomplices waiting at the county line. Donner's plot, akin to the covert threats unmasked by Roxane and Riot, was sophisticated and deadly. A former Special Forces operative serving life sentences for murder and armed robbery, Donner had exploited a dim van light and lax oversight to prepare his escape, armed with a stolen gun and a chokehold on Davidson. Courage's pinpoint growl at Donner's seat, validated by Matthews' insistence, exposed the threat before it could escalate, preventing a potential massacre. The discovery sent the team into panic as officers scrambled for cover, realizing the convoy's vulnerability on the open highway. This moment highlighted the critical role of K9 intuition in piercing through human complacency, revealing a plot that could have ended in tragedy. Matthews' trust and courage, mirroring the intuitive bonds of his K9 predecessors, catalyzed a tactical response that neutralized Donner, saving lives. The incident, resonating with American values of bravery and justice, celebrates a K9's ability to detect what technology and protocol missed, a prisoner's calculated intent. Courage's vigilance, like Roxane's detection of Sophie's plea, ensured the plot was thwarted, with accomplices intercepted and the convoy secured. This story, flowing from Courage's instincts and Matthew's resolve, underscores the necessity of trusting animal perception in high-stakes law enforcement, proving that a 70-pound German Shepherd's alertness can unravel even the most cunning schemes, protecting officers and communities from disaster on a rural highway. The electrifying narrative of Courage, a 70-pound German Shepherd K9, and his handler, Officer Matthews, during a 60-mile prisoner transport from a county jail to a state penitentiary, seamlessly weaves together Courage's exceptional instincts, the profound trust between handler and K9, and the chilling exposure of Ray Donner's escape plot, resonating with the valor of K9 units like Roxane in Portland and Riot at the International Defense Summit. Central to this story is the overcoming of entrenched skepticism and rigid protocol, as Courage's urgent barking was initially dismissed as a rookie handler's failure, nearly allowing a deadly scheme to unfold. On a misty morning, Matthew's defiance of Lieutenant Davidson's orders and standard procedures, driven by Courage's unyielding alerts, exposed the limitations of human judgment and bureaucratic constraints in high-stakes operations, ensuring a life-saving intervention on a desolate highway. As the convoy navigated a 20-mile stretch of rural highway, Courage's behavior shifted dramatically 17 minutes into the journey, his sharp barks and lunging toward the transport van signaling an unseen threat. Matthews, a 3-month rookie, faced immediate derision from Davidson, a 20-year veteran who branded the K9's alerts unprofessional and threatened Matthews with arrest for insubordination. Radio chatter from colleagues mocked Courage's reaction as a trivial distraction, a squirrel chase, or a bathroom break, reflecting a broader skepticism toward Matthew's inexperience and his father's legacy, much like the initial dismissal of Roxane's signals in Portland. Standard protocol demanded convoy integrity with no stops permitted outside secure facilities, rendering Matthew's call to halt the convoy a direct violation, risking his career and the operation's security. Matthews, guided by his late father's maxim, "When your partner tells you something's wrong, you listen," stood firm, insisting on inspecting the van despite Davidson's fury and accusations of nepotism. Courage's laser-focused growls at Prisoner 6, Ray Donner, validated this trust, revealing loosened cuffs and a hidden lockpick, poised for a violent escape with accomplices waiting 20 miles away. The discovery, akin to Riot's unmasking of a cartel operative, exposed the fragility of rigid protocols that prioritize procedure over intuition, as Donner's scheme exploited human oversight in a dim van light. Davidson's initial skepticism, rooted in Matthew's short tenure and perceived privilege, crumbled as the threat materialized, triggering panic and a tactical standoff. This narrative, flowing from Courage's vigilance and Matthew's resolve, highlights the need for flexibility in law enforcement when K9 instincts signal danger. Matthew's defiance, mirroring Edward's trust in Roxane, overcame the bureaucratic inertia that nearly cost lives, proving that intuition can surpass manual-driven responses. The incident, resonating with American values of courage and adaptability, transformed Davidson's view, leading to a commendation in the adoption of Matthew's father's training methods department-wide. Courage's alerts, like those of his K9 predecessors, ensured Donner's plot was thwarted, with accomplices intercepted and the convoy secured. In a culture that celebrates first responders, this story underscores the necessity of trusting animal perception over skepticism and protocol, especially in high-pressure scenarios where seconds matter. On that 60-mile highway, a 70-pound German Shepherd and a rookie handler's bold stand rewrote the rules, safeguarding justice and proving that sometimes a dog's instinct is the only guide needed to navigate the fog of danger. The gripping saga of Courage, a 70-pound German Shepherd K9, and his handler, Officer Matthews, during a 60-mile prisoner transport, seamlessly integrates Courage's exceptional instincts, the critical trust between handler and K9, the exposure of Ray Donner's deadly escape plot, and the overcoming of skepticism and rigid protocol, echoing the heroism of K-9 units like Roxane in Portland and Riot at the International Defense Summit. At its heart, this story celebrates the heroic intervention and tactical brilliance that neutralized a lethal threat, preventing a catastrophic escape on a desolate highway. On a misty morning, Courage's silent, precise attack on Donner's gun arm, orchestrated by Matthews' strategic deception, coupled with Lieutenant Davidson's swift reaction, ensured the safety of the convoy team, showcasing the power of K-9 training and handler ingenuity in a high-stakes crisis. 17 minutes into the transport, Courage's frantic barking halted the convoy, revealing Donner, a former Army Ranger, with loosened cuffs and a hidden lockpick, poised to take Davidson hostage. Matthews, defying Davidson's scorn and protocol, insisted on an inspection, exposing the plot as Donner seized Davidson with a stolen gun, demanding car keys and a clear path, with accomplices waiting 20 miles away. The standoff, mirroring the tension of Roxane's confrontation with an abuser, turned the highway into a tactical nightmare. Matthews, leveraging his 3-month bond with Courage, devised a plan reminiscent of Riot's tactical precision, feigning compliance by tossing the keys to lure Donner forward, subtly signaling Courage with a snap. Courage's intervention was textbook perfection. Hidden beneath the van, the K-9 launched silently, clamping onto Donner's gun arm with controlled force, neutralizing him without lethal harm as trained. The gunshot fired harmlessly upward, and Davidson, seizing the moment, broke free with an elbow strike, rolling clear. Matthews closed the distance, subduing Donner with a shoulder strike, while Courage held firm until commanded to release, ensuring no further resistance. The team's coordinated response, securing Donner with reinforced cuffs, mirrored the seamless action of prior K-9 narratives, preventing a massacre and intercepting accomplices at the county line. This heroic act, resonating with American values of bravery and quick thinking, earned Matthews and Courage a department commendation, transforming Davidson's skepticism into respect. The intervention highlighted the precision of K-9 training, allowing Courage to disable a threat with surgical accuracy, and Matthews' ingenuity in manipulating Donner's focus, akin to Edward's trust in Roxane's signals. In a nation that honors its first responders, this story celebrates the synergy of instinct and strategy, proving that a 70-pound K-9 and a rookie handler can outsmart a seasoned escape artist. Courage's silent strike and Matthews' tactical gambit, executed on a 60-mile stretch of highway, ensured justice prevailed, safeguarding the convoy and reinforcing the vital role of K-9 partnerships in overcoming chaos, where split-second decisions rewrite the outcome of a deadly crisis. The compelling narrative of Courage, a 70-pound German Shepherd K-9, and his handler, Officer Matthews, during a 60-mile prisoner transport, intricately weaves together Courage's exceptional instincts, the profound trust between handler and K-9, the exposure of Ray Donner's escape plot, the overcoming of skepticism and protocol, and the heroic intervention that neutralized a lethal threat, resonating with the valor of K-9 units like Roxane in Portland and Riot at the International Defense Summit. At its core, this story celebrates the lasting legacy and systemic impact of Courage's actions, which earned a department commendation and transformed law enforcement training, honoring Matthews' late father's unorthodox methods. On a misty morning, Courage's vigilance and Matthews' resolve not only saved lives but also reshaped departmental practices, reflecting American values of honoring legacy and embracing innovation in the face of crisis. When Courage's frantic barking halted the convoy 17 minutes into the rural drive, Matthews' trust in his K-9's alerts, defying Lieutenant Davidson's scorn, exposed Donner's plot to escape with accomplices 20 miles away. The tactical standoff, resolved by Courage's precise attack and Matthews' strategic deception, prevented a massacre, mirroring Roxane's protection of Sophie and Riot's thwarting of an assassin. The incident's aftermath was profound. At a department ceremony, the chief of police awarded Matthews and Courage a commendation, with Davidson, once skeptical, pinning the honor himself, acknowledging Matthews' courage in challenging his orders. This recognition, akin to Edward's validation in Portland, marked a turning point, affirming the rookie's place in the elite K-9 unit. The systemic impact was transformative. Davidson, humbled by Courage's life-saving instincts, advocated for adopting Matthew's father's training philosophy, treating K9s as thinking partners, not mere tools, across the department. Scheduled for implementation the following month, this shift promised to enhance future operations, ensuring more K9s like Courage could avert disasters. Matthew's visit to his father's grave, where he placed the commendation pin, symbolized the fulfillment of a legacy that prioritized intuitive bonds over rigid protocol, echoing the systemic changes sparked by Roxane and Riot's heroics. Courage's quiet presence at the cemetery, resting his head on Matthew's arm, underscored their unbreakable partnership, forged in crisis. This narrative, flowing from Courage's intervention, resonates with American audiences through its celebration of legacy, innovation, and the human-animal bond in law enforcement. In a nation that honors its first responders, Courage's actions on that 60-mile highway prove that a K9's instincts, paired with a handler's faith, can rewrite the rules of justice. The story invites reflection on trusting intuition over authority, paralleling the silent pleas of Sophie and the covert threats at the summit. By institutionalizing a training model that values K9s as equal partners, the department ensured that Courage's heroism would inspire future generations, safeguarding communities with the same vigilance that stopped a deadly escape, cementing a legacy where a 70-pound German Shepherd and his handler redefined what it means to serve and protect.